I know I didn't post when I was going on again. um, so I got to start picking a day, like a time in the day. So far it's every Sunday. Here, let me log into Instagram before I get started. Okay, so far, what my plan is to do Sundays Instagram Live and YouTube. Right. So right now I got you both. Let's take a look here. Bada boom. I guess there's a way to do it so you can get a program to do both at the same time, but I've tried that. It's not working. So I'll just do it this way, the ghetto way. So yeah, my plan is to go live, um, mostly podcasts Sundays on Instagram and YouTube. Thursdays is my usual interviews, and in between that is where I just release content of like a topic that I've been thinking about, or that's been grinding my gears, or what have you. Right. Um, hey everyone, what's up? What's going on? Okie dokie, artichoke. So I'll get the chats going. Okay, let's see. All right, so September's coming up soon. I wanted to have a special promo for September, but I might have to delay it a month because I'm having issues with my Teachable and my Stripe. They're not. There's something that's I have to fix. So I'm going to delay that by a month. And what I'm going to do is the program will still be $55 for the month, and if you want to do coaching, it'll also be $55 for the month if you're on the program. If you don't take the program, it'll just be the regular $75, right? So if you're interested in doing any one-on-ones or group coaching, please email me, and I'll hook it up. Right, I'll get you all settled in, and then for the group coaching, you're going to need to do the program. Either you can do the free one that I have on YouTube, or the new updated one that's a little bit shinier and prettier. So it's up to you. Let me know. So far, I think that's what we're going to go with. Unless I get this fixed, then I'll introduce the promo. But you know what? No rush. I can do the promo in October, right? But for now, we'll do it like this until I get the things resolved, the issues. I think because we're in a retrograde. I don't know if you guys believe in that stuff. I kind of do. I'm not like hardcore into it. I'm into like astrology and horoscopes and stuff, but not into it. I just kind of like, oh, that's cool. Oh, here we go again, another retrograde. Yeah, like okay. My wife's really into it, so of course, when she's into it, I'm gonna hear some shit, and she's like, oh my god, just by the way, we're in a retrograde. I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't know that, but it makes sense. Shit's not, everything's going haywire. Money's delayed. That's breaking. You know, it's like the universe is having a setback, right? It's like the same shit. All right. Hey, how's it going? Seventh. Oh, Kevin, do you post any more of your coaching calls? What I did for a while, just so that people could see, kind of meet everybody. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post them again at the 1 year mark, just so they can see, where they're at and see the drastic change. Because for a while, like if I post every week's coaching calls, you won't really notice the differences because it's like every week. You notice it more when you tune in after a year, and it's like, oh yeah, so I got like 10 things gone. I'm able to walk. I can do this. I can, I can eat all the foods, right? And then it's more of a drastic change. And also it's becoming an issue with some people didn't want to be, put on YouTube. So it's like privacy stuff, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to only put on people that are okay with it, and I'll do updates for the coaching calls. So yeah, good question. Yeah, that's the goal for that. So yeah, and if you want to do any coaching, with me in the group, great group. We were all there together. We moved through it together, and you also move through delays a lot quicker because 9 times out of 10, somebody else dealt with it already or is dealing with it now. And you can ask all the questions. There's no limits on questions, and we're interactive. We talk with each other, so it's a little different. Where I'm involved, the group's involved, and you can ask all the questions. There's no limit or anything like that. Awesome. Um, okay, let's go to Tanya. Tanya, how do you think SIBO can be cured by calming the limbic system without antibiotics? Oh, so I know with SIBO, it's like there's a they call it a overgrowth of bacteria in the top part of the intestinal tract, right? Um, for me, for me, the way it is, like you can take. I know people that took the. I'm so thankful I didn't take the antibiotics. There's a special antibiotic that you take, and it's only meant for that area because it's like I guess some of them are slow release, so it won't go only into that. I don't know how they time it, so it's only gonna release in that area, and that's it. And then you kill the bacteria, and they think that this will kind of reset it, and hopefully we're good. And the way what I had to do is I had to put all the research that I did on the shelf, all the protocols, right? Because I wanted to do the elemental diet and just take these liquid diets, just because I had two safe foods, so it was pretty brutal. And so I was going down all the rabbit holes of all these groups, right? The ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis. I have a book. Wait, hold on. Give me a sec. Here's like the big book. Hold on. Fuck, can't find it. Anyway. Oh yeah, it's called Breaking the Cycle or something like that. And it's like the go-to book. And I bought a bunch of books. And I had to put all that shit on the shelf and trust that this is the way. So for a while I still had my food sensitivities. I had all the gut issues, right? The leaky gut, all the SIBOs, leaky gut, the dysbiosis, the overgrowth, candida overgrowth, the ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis. I had surgery for the diverticulitis, but I got the diverticulitis. So this is all mind body, right? That's how you get this shit. And this is structural. This is real stuff. This is happening inside you, right? There's real tearing. There's real bleeding. There's real autoimmune issues, right? This is where I'm a little bit, I think that the TMS world needs a bit of an update because it's really, well, it can only be this. If it's not that, well, does it qualify? You need to take a test. So, if it's not, no, that's structural. You can't, right? There's a lot of limits. And generally speaking, I think most of this stuff, 95% of the stuff that we deal with is because we're in dis-ease, right? That's all mind body. And we're stuck because we're in this dis-ease. And, to get out of it, you got to use mind body, right? There are, a few things where I think, okay, well, I don't know what the hell is going on here. I don't know, it's structural. You broke your leg, or things where it's like, don't know what to tell you, right? But generally, I think the 90s, 95 percentage of things that we deal with is all mind body, right? If you got a pulse, if you're alive, there's a good chance that you could fully recover or have the best outcome of that situation, right? The best comfortable outcome, and still manage it, and live like a pretty good life, and still be able to live a good life. But I think generally we can overcome and recover from anything. um, so yeah, I'm going to do a whole gut video, because I think there's a lot of misinformation about gut healing, because I think you don't have to do all the protocols to wipe things out, detox this, and you know, repopulate the biome. It's a lot of micromanaging. I think it has to. What you should do is you just support your gut by running the proper program with your nervous system, right? Resetting your alarm system and allowing your body, your brain, to tell the body what to do by running the program. Like it knows what to do. Your body knows what to do. Your gut knows what to do. Your liver knows what to do. Your kidneys, right? Us micromanaging them and telling them what to do, um, it just we're in the way, right? We don't know. I don't know. Nobody's going to know the first thing about the gut, really, and then we're going to trust all these supplements and ingest them. Like, no thanks. It's like a bomb going off. I remember I took some probiotics, and literally there was a bomb that was going off, and that set off my storm because I was ingesting billions of bacteria that somebody thought, well, no, these are, this is legit. This has been tested. Like, I don't think they actually know what they're doing for, I think it's going to be another, 1,000 years before they got this down to a T to really understand what's going on. And just to ingest bacteria, that's not a good idea. That's going to set off a stress response, which was what happened with me. Right. And then I was fucked. I had food sensitivities out the ass, literally, right. Hey, what's going on? Nathan, good to see you, man. First time yes. Awesome. Yeah, I know. I got to start announcing shit like to the, I'm just kind of, flying by the edge of my seat. It was like, oh, let's do it right now. Let's go right now. Right. Um, so yeah, with the whole gut thing, it's, support it by running the proper program, get yourself out of survival, get out of dis-ease into ease, and then the brain and your body knows what to do. It just naturally, as a consequence, you heal. The biome gets back to on balance, right? The kidney starts to work properly. Your liver is like, your heart's like, right? Working perfectly. Everything's back in line, right? It's not trying to keep you alive. It's not, it's not overwhelmed with all this other shit that it has to do. It's able to finally sit back and relax. It's like, oh, we're caught up with everything. Everything's good. Everything's, we're doing good. And then when you have like the seasonal flu, you only feel 2% of it. You don't feel, the full wrath of a cold for 3 weeks. Right. And then, the cold is gone, but you're still suffering the after effects of it. Is because your body's overwhelmed, because there is allostatic loads, right, that are overflowing. It's a little too much. Body's overwhelmed. The body keeps the score. Something's got to give, right? And then I'm gonna draw a baseline. I gotta have like a nice big baseline drawing somewhere. That's what I got to do, just so that I can point at it. Go. So the base, right, right. So that's 0. That's where, your alarm system's on standby. But life throws us curveballs right over the years, and then if it stays there for like a couple of years, it gets hardwired, right? And boom, 2 years of this, it's gonna stay there, right? It's gonna get hardwired that you create a new neural pathway. This is your survival programming, because you programmed it that way because you were surviving for all these years. Maybe you were with a narcissist for 5 years, surviving, right? Constantly angry, constantly feeling gaslit or insecure, right? And right, you're creating the reason for the brain to send alarms, because you're teaching it. Yes, we're surrounded by ligers everywhere. Right now in this toxic relationship, I am talking to a liger. I am in danger, right? And when you're in that situation for 4 years, right, that's going to happen. It's going to program that way, and eventually your baseline adapts to that. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just a thing that the brain does, so that it makes sure that you have all the backup, you have all the support, right? And it's just the way it is. It wants to make sure that you have the best uh, chance of survival. It's all about survival, keeping you alive, right? It doesn't care if you suffer. It just cares if you're, um, that you're alive, and that's its job. That's its main job. That's all it cares to do, right? Um, because that's all it's supposed to do, and it does it perfectly. But we end up getting these symptoms, and we don't like this. We don't like this feeling, right? We don't prefer this. Of course not. When you're dealing with you're pulling 747s for 30 years, right? Let's say you're a Honda. I got to get a picture of a Honda Civic pulling a 747. If somebody could do that. Well, you know what? I can just get Whitney to do that. She'll make it look awesome. So let's say, okay, I'm going to do a shitty version of this shit. So I'm drawing a plane, right? And it's a 747, right? And you get this little Honda pulling it. So look at this, right? It's got this little Honda pulling a 747, right? So you got this Honda, 4-seater Honda. It's got, it's 1.4 cylinder, right? You got 3 people in it, and you're wondering why the tires keep popping, right? And you're pulling the 747. Why do the tires keep popping? These tires are shit. These are the worst tires. I don't know. I'm getting Goodyear. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it was a bad batch. I don't understand. So you keep, they keep blowing up, right? So they keep popping. You keep buying more tires, right? You're blaming the tires, right? You're managing by getting tires constantly, and it's pulling the 740. It's getting you from A to B really slowly. All of a sudden, the engine starts to overheat. The transmission isn't fucking working properly. The suspension is like, right? So then, you start to think, well, what the fuck's going on? What? Then I'm like, well, listen, it's not the tires. The engine is a really, actually, Hondas are one of the most reliable vehicles, especially Honda Civics, one of the most reliable vehicles on this planet. They're meant to last forever, but you're not giving it the chance. It's overwhelmed. It's still doing its job. It's keeping you, it's bringing you from A to B to C, right? Something's got to give. The engine's going to overheat something, right? So what you got to do is you got to let go of that 747, put on another batch of tires, maybe get an oil change, right? And you're going to see that it's going to work efficiently. It's going to work beautifully. It's going to be peppy, right? It's going to be really good on gas. Before it was shit on gas. It's like, dude, I'm wasting like $1,000 on gas a month. How is this possible in a little 4-cylinder? How is this really, Then you find out like, whoa, like $20 is filling up this tank and it's lasting forever. Great fuel economy, right? And the tires are lasting forever. And I can handle 4 people, no problem. And that's exactly same way that our brain and our bodies work, right? We have these allostatic loads that need to be, at a reasonable amount. So not here, maybe, here. 30 years, life threw me curveballs, and it started to add up. And I wasn't regulating. I kept pulling 747s. I wasn't letting shit go, right? I wasn't feeling feelings. I wasn't allowing thoughts or symptoms to be there, right? I wasn't doing visuals to physically sit and dose to change myself from the old program of survival to a program of rest and digest and ease. That's why we do the visuals, to bring that baseline down, right? Over time. 1 hour a day times 365, that's 365 hours, times, well, how many years did 3 years? That's like 1,200, I don't know, somebody do the math. That's like 1,200 hours of working on your baseline by sitting in dose, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, right? When you do that, the brain has no choice but to change because you're putting your brain to work, right? We're not just going, just live life. To dial down the fear, just no, you'll be fine. Just feel the feelings, all right, and just live life. Just go ahead and live life. That's not going to cut it. That's not enough. That's just managing symptoms. Sure, you'll turn off alarms here and there, but it's just not going to cut it, right? So a combination with doing visuals and getting out and living life and elevating, like actually putting time aside, right, to do this for 1 hour a day for elevating, 1 hour a day for visuals, right, is what's going to move that needle and that's what's going to cut it, right? Plus doing the other methods of allowing and engaging, because the brain's going to throw everything at you. So I need a better picture of a baseline and a better picture of a 747 with a little Honda. Okay. I kind of just went off topic there. That's okay. That's what I do, I guess. Okay, Michelle French, how's it going? Tony, hey, can you talk about up and down days? Oh yeah, well, when doing this work, this is what I mean by doing this work is it's gonna get worse. It's gonna be a shit show, right? The in betweens of recovery. People usually do these methods because they think, well, I should get relief because I'm doing the methods, right? I'm allowing. So why is it going away? Why are you still here? Why is it getting worse, right? But the thing is, you don't want to use the allowing as a weapon to get rid of. We're allowing to authentically allow. We authentically want it to let it do its thing and be there without any strings attached or hidden agendas or anything like that. No conditions. Fully allow it to be there, right? And even demand that it stays for the next month, right? Because that's how you build the leverage of indifference. Because that's where we want to get to. We want to get to indifference. And it's going to go, and you're not going to notice that it's gone. Maybe for a couple of months, you'll be like, oh, wait a minute, that thing is gone. That pain that I have right here and in here, in that itch that I have, that pain that I have, right? Oh man, it's gone. I didn't even notice it's been gone for 6 months because you learned how to build leverage of indifference and you fully allowed it to the point that when it left, you didn't even notice. It's like you're having a party and that one guy took off and you didn't even notice because you weren't paying attention. You wouldn't putting that person on a pedestal or that symptom or feeling on a pedestal. You're learning how to tuck it into your routine and keep everybody equal, not putting them on a pedestal. Awesome. Okay, and yeah, you're gonna have the shit days, right? You're gonna have a lot of shit days, and then you're gonna have the setbacks. So there's setbacks, there's spikes, there's extinction bursts, there's ebbs and flows of recovery. So where this shit's like this constantly, right? Where it's you take 10 steps back, 11 steps forward, 20 steps back, 50 steps forward, right? So it's constantly you're like, right? This is the finish end. This is a right? It's just like that, and eventually the shit show does stop, and you're finally, right? You're so close to the finish line, so close. You can like this is finish line. So fuck. 8 months later, the doubt is even harder. It's like we're never gonna make. You know what? I'm just gonna fucking quit. I'm just gonna fucking quit. Fuck it. Right? And you're this close, and then life starts piling up again. And you're like, oh fuck, I got to do a program again. Right? This is when you manage symptoms. This is when you manage your loads. When you do the work, stick to it, and it's the thing. Here's the phenomenon I wanted to talk about. I'm just going all over the place today. I got no real. I'm just talking about everything. I'm going to do a video about this. There's a phenomenon that I know about that I went through, and I knew about it before I went through it. And I learned about this in the DRNRS, brain retraining world. So there's ebbs and flows, there's setbacks, there's spikes, right? Extinction burst. But there's this one phenomenon that I learned in the brain retraining world, and I was asking a bunch of people about this, and they all said yes. And at about around the 8th month mark, and the 10th month mark, around there, right? Ish, give or take, ish, is, you think you're making exorcisms jealous before then. But that's not what I mean when I say making exorcisms jealous. Around the 8th month mark of doing the work every day, 1 hour visuals, 1 hour of elevating and allowing and engaging, right? Doing the work every day around the 8th month, 10th month, just spit it out. Okay, the 10th month mark is when it really, really goes fucking crazy. And that happened to me. And it lasted from that moment, the 8 months into it, that time, it lasted right up to 2.5 years into it. It was like a constant, it was intense. And I had little ebbs in between also, but I had this major one. So, and this is where my OCD was just relentless. That means OCD looping thoughts where I felt like I was surviving every 3 seconds, right? You're getting the air just long enough so that when you go down, well, I might as well go back up again. I need some air again. Oh fuck! And here we go, right? That's how this. I don't know, setback, extinction burst, whatever you. I'm not even sure what it's called, really, but I know I went through it, and I know a lot of other people went through it. So if you're tugging along at the 6 month mark, just know that it's quite possible that you're going to go through one of these longer setbacks. I'm going to call it setback, right? That for me, it was around the 8th month, 10th month mark, and it throws everything at you. It's really pulling back. It's really resisting, and it's hard as fuck. But you need this. You need this. This is prime fucking time. When I said, you're making exorcisms jealous, I didn't mean the shit that the regular hell. No. No, I mean this is the real hell. This is where you're asking yourself, am I fucking going crazy? This is insane. Nobody's feeling this on this fucking planet. I'm going fucking crazy. I'm making fucking, all the what if thoughts, all the doubts. This is why a lot of people quit. Because there's so much resistance. You actually feel like my head felt like it was like a balloon, like boom, 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 right? I felt like it was pressure here and cracking. Weird fucking sensations. It's hard to explain. Some of these, it also happened when I was doing visuals where I felt high, right? I felt like I was having aneurysms. I felt like pressure, lots of pressure in my head. And then the OCD looping thoughts were just fucking relentless. My thoughts were slow motion. My speech was like, right? Fuck. It was fucking relentless. And that's what I mean by making exorcisms jealous, because that period, it was like that. It was, the brain was throwing everything at me to stop, like, fucking knock it off, man. No, you sure you want to do this new program? Because I don't trust you. I think this is, I don't know, man. I think we're taking a big risk here. I think this is, I can't trust that we're going to do. I'm telling you, it's safe over there, brain. I'm telling you, alarm system, it's safe. There's no lagers there. It's all beautiful trees, calmness, right? There's no waves in the water even. It's so, it's like this. And the brain, like, yeah, really? I can't do it, man. I can't fucking do it because I'm not willing to take that risk. Fuck it. We're not doing it. I'm out of here. No, we're staying here. I'm going to grow some fucking roots. How about that? Let's grow some roots. Right? And that's when it brings up the alarms like crazy. It's like, no, we're not. What are you doing? No. And then the more you heal, the more you start turning off alarms. Right? And you're not out of the woods yet. You're still the baseline. Well, pretend this is like around here. Right? Whatever. Right? You're not out of the woods yet. And the brain's like, dude, you're fucking getting rid of all these physical symptoms. And I can't get your attention. That's what I was using to get your attention. You're getting rid of them. What the fuck am I going to do? I'm out of alarm supply. What am I going to fucking do? So it ramps up the OCD. It ramps up the fucking, the doubt, where you think, your motherfucker genes are what the doctors said were right, that you do have a crazy motherfucking gene defect, or that your mitochondria is fucked, right? And all these things that you researched all these years, all of a sudden they come back to slap you in the face and go, see, you're not gonna, it's getting worse, right? And that's why I try to tell people way ahead of time, right? Now, don't do this because you think you're going to get relief. Know that when I say that the million times that I said that you need to get a medal, you're going to defy gravity. You're an Olympian. That's the type of work the hell that you're going to go through, right? But it's not really hell. It's just, there's a lot of resistance. The brain's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, right? Because you're jumping into a new program. It's perceiving danger. and it still has to get your attention, and your baseline and your allostatic loads aren't emptying enough. So it's like there's a threshold where it's like we got to amp up the alarm system here because I still think there's an intruder everywhere, ligers everywhere. We got to get the barbed wire. It's a little dramatic, right? And you're gonna feel that. You're gonna feel more insane feelings and symptoms than anything that's real on this planet. It's like you're possessed, right? Exorcist is like that scene with the head and the puke, like that's nothing. I wish it was like that. I wish I was fucking hanging upside down from the ceiling. I can only, that would be so easy. Oh my God, right? But so the 8th, 10th month mark, and I'm not saying it's going to happen to everybody, but I did see this was a trend. And this is not to scare anybody because there's nothing really dangerous that's happening, right? And you're not doing anything that's dangerous either, right? This is brain retraining. This is neuroplasticity. This is resetting your alarm system. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're doing nice, amazing, happy things, right? You're exposing yourself. You're doing visuals by imagining yourself by the beach, right? You're not taking any medications on brain retraining. You're not taking any supplements. You're not doing any crazy protocols. You're not doing anything crazy. All you're doing is taking time aside to introduce a new program that's out of survival, right? A program where you're just and all you're doing is you're doing visuals, you're sitting in dose, you're thinking about happy places, right? You're dancing, right? You're doing the fucking cha-cha, right? You're fucking break dancing. Like that's not dangerous. Doing this, is that dangerous? No, it's not. It's amazing. It's fucking the best thing in the world, right? Allowing thoughts and sitting with them and engaging in life, having a routine, having a calendar. Is having a calendar, writing in a calendar dangerous? No. But it will feel like what you're doing is fucking hurting you and dangerous. And no, you need to stop. What do I need to stop? You need to stop what you're doing. Well, what is it that I'm doing that I need to stop? You need to stop being happy. You need to stop doing visuals. You need to stop living life. Nah, probably not. That's not it. Well, what else could it be? Well, it's because your brain is throwing the kitchen sink at you because it's perceiving danger. And you're changing. You're doing the work. So this is the proof. This is the proof that you're doing the work. So that's another thing that I liked about this is when I learned about this phenomenon, people are saying, when you go through this nightmare, know that you are doing it correctly. So I'm like, well, fuck. Then I'm really doing it correctly because this is oh fuck. Everywhere I look, right? I started having phobias. I would look at a pillow and it would trigger a fucking scary thought. I would look at my steering wheel. I'd be like, oh fuck, why am I freaking out? Okay, what's going on, right? Any sound, any random sound, a bird in the distance, it would fuck me up. I couldn't sit still. I'd have to, oh fuck, something. My wife would be like, oh my God, you know what we did with my dad for my dad's birthday? We were like, oh fuck, I gotta get out of here. That's triggering. Oh my God, are you okay? Oh, I gotta go. So I would pace, walk. I'd be right. And this was ongoing, day by day, week by week, month by month, until 2 years ish, and then it started to let off a bit. The OCD and the doubts, the what if thoughts, and the PTSD and all that shit. It's because the brain is trying to find new supply of alarms, so it gets crafty. And also, if you're a person that's spiritual or believe in like signs or just it's going to throw your faith in your face. Anything that you love, it's gonna beliefs. It's gonna question. It's gonna make you question your beliefs. It's gonna throw it all in your face, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh no, my God, is this not?" Because that's the only thing that I had in my life that was safe. That I had a knowing. I had my faith, and now I'm questioning my faith. What do I have then? Well, my God, that's your personal hell, right? And it brings you there because it has to get your attention to perceive to the dangers, the ligers that all the bullshit that we went through for 30 years, you name it. It's coming up to the surface now. all the layers of the onion, all the doors are opening. Right? You're like, oh fuck, I'm not ready for this. Right? That's why that's why I worked with whatever the brain sent me on a platter. And it can be a lot. It can be like, it's not just a little platter. It's got piles of fucking burgers and ramen noodles and bunch of eggs and steaks, and it's piled up to here, and it's like, can you eat this shit? Right? It's just overwhelming. But I started there. And then eventually, when I was able to handle the flow of the alarms and allow them to be there, and I started bringing the baseline down, and the allostatic load started to empty, right? Then I would bring it up a notch. Because when you go through this hell, it's training. You're becoming, what do you call it? Resilient, and you don't even know it. The fear is driving you to stay on course, right? That fear is forcing you to go through this journey. That's why I love, in a way, the fear is, it can be, if it's used properly, can really help drive you through a journey that is going to be priceless and huge near the end. So if you can harness the fear, it'll, you know let you experience this gift that you've been given of the illness. That's all it is, right? It's a gift that we experience so that we can have an awakening. You have deeper understanding of yourself, your intuition. Um, it's just a fancy way to get you there. It's crazy, crazy roller coaster. But you need to do it. You need to go through it in order to learn. It's also learning, and it's crazy training, crazy learning, and having the confidence to stay on track. You might want to quit because it's scary, but that's prime time when you have to stay and double down even more. And just sit tight, allow it to be there, engage, stick to your routine, and eventually throughout the this phenomenon, you move forward in leaps and bounds. Every time you have a spike or an ebb, you move forward in leaps and bounds. It's like, because you kept doing the work through the shit fire, right through the you know through the lava storms. You kept doing the methods, right? You're going, shit's fucking hitting. You're like, oh, just stay focused, keep going. All right, hello, are you sure? Oh fuck, look at that, right? Like, your reality is lying to you. It's throwing smokes and mirrors of a different. It's like you're in, what do you call that movie? Uh, the Wizard of Oz, and the guy behind the drapes, right? It's all an illusion, but they're all smokes and mirrors that need to happen to get your attention, because it's perceiving that there's lagers behind you. And it's fucking crazy. But once you start that you get warned ahead of time, and then you go through it, you're like, okay, I've been told about this, and you start writing shit down. You kind of become a student of yourself, right? You got your notebooks, you're doing your visuals, you're kind of studying through this journey, because that's how you build leverage. You can't just float through, yeah, I'm just gonna live life, I'm just gonna. Meanwhile, you got OCD looping thoughts that are hijacking you, the doubts and the intrusive thoughts, the anxiety is fucking relentless. You need steps. You got to keep going forward. You need a program, right? And then you become your own guide, because you start doing experiments. You start to become a guinea pig, because you start to learn. You fall on your face 1,000 times, and you get your own golden nuggets. You start doing your visuals, and you get the downloads, because you're working that spiritual muscle, whatever faith that you're into. Um, Fill in the blanks. If you're Jesus, Buddha, whatever it is, right? Put that into the blank there. That's you. You get in touch with your faith more. And yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, it's like a crazy training that you're forced to do. You become a student in your own life, and you tap into your intuition, your higher self, and you trust it more, because everything around you is lying to you. You're forced to trust your intuition, and you're forced to walk over that invisible bridge, scared shitless, but you do it. And then when you pass over it, you're like, fuck, I just walked over that invisible bridge. How the hell did I do that? Maybe everything's a fucking lie. Maybe this is just smokes and mirrors. and I'm doing it. There's evidence. So the more evidence you get, the more leverage you gain, because you lay on that evidence. You lean, I should say. You lean on your evidence, right? Because you look back and you go, okay, it's been a year. Look how much shit I learned. Thank goodness I stayed on this fucking journey. Thank goodness I didn't give up. Look at how much I learned. And then you have confidence, right? Whatever comes towards me from now on, I can handle it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Fuck it, right? You get more confidence. The more you learn, the more experience you have going through this shit, and then the rest of the way is still you can see the end of the tunnel, right? You see that the end of the tunnel. You see the light. You're like, okay, I see the light. I'm gonna get there. I'm okay. Then it's not so much about being recovered. It's more about, okay, I'm gonna savor this journey. I'm gonna see what there is to learn about it, and keep going, because I know there's more to this. It's not about being ill. It's not about any of that. It's a bigger thing. There's so much more involved in this. It's so much bigger. And you keep going, no matter what, you stick to it, and then you recover. And then it's like, right, even before you recover, it's like, it's not about recovery, right? Chasing recovery, it's about fully allowing yourself to feel uncomfortable and being okay with, not chasing recovery, just living life fully, and then recovery chases you as a consequence. And then you recover and you're like, what next? Well, let's keep going. Let's keep going deeper. And then you kind of go spiritual. That's where I am right now. I'm past recovery. I'm restoring. I'm in the, deep into restoring, maybe a year into restoring and growing spiritually, right? Going through a whole different thing and noticing that all the methods that I learned through this journey of the physical part, the physical illness part that brought me here, like the illness brings you there. Just, it's like, okay, he's here. The illness he's here. Now he's gonna learn some shit. And you're forced to learn some shit, and then, but you're learning other things that go across all kinds of different things throughout your reality, right? These methods you can use for relationships, for business, for spirituality, for manifesting, creating the life that you want. Literally, you become the creator in your life, and you become aware of the powers that you have. And with any situation, you can use a method, right? And you start to rewire your reality, not just your brain. You rewire your reality, and you start to manipulate your reality, right? If something happens that you don't like, my old self would freak out, ruminate, go, well, fuck, of course it's going to happen to me. Of course. And right, I track more of that bullshit. Compared to now, I allow it to be there. I probably think, you know what, there's probably something I got to learn from this. There's probably a golden nugget hidden in there somewhere. And it's probably disguised as something that's nasty, but it's probably an obstacle in the road that's forcing me to push me into a different path that's better for me, right? And I'm actually going to get a lot better things, more abundance, more things that I want, that I'm resonating, vibrating, at that level that I'm, gonna and attract, right? I just whistled. Okay, so I just kind of rambled on. I'm gonna hit some of these questions up. Oh shit, there's a ton. All right. Okay, here we go. Let's tackle them. I'll try to go quick on this shit. Anxiety and hyperarousal is the same thing. Well, they're alarms and you're in a survival state. So I think somebody asked me, why is it that if your brain perceives danger, it can, perceive random things as danger? Well, if you're in a survival state, it'll pick random things to perceive as danger, because it can't take any, it just assumes, right? Like everything around you is dangerous. Everything's dangerous. I can't take a risk and not think that thing over there isn't dangerous, because we're in a survival. The dial is at a 10. So I got laggers all around me, and I don't know I'm just going to assume that everything's out of question. We're not allowing anything in. We're letting everything out. Right? Everybody can't come in. I don't care about your passport, your papers. Make me see your papers. Fuck the papers. No, you're not coming in. Right? All the foods, get them out. Any new foods, fuck off. You can only eat rice for a year and a half, or fucking rice and beef like me for a year and a half. Everything out, right? So it just kind of goes across the board. So it starts to proceed, like you become sensitive to anything because it's a possibility that it's dangerous. A little kitty cat, fuck it, no, you're gonna have an allergy. Fuck it, no, you're scared of kitty cats. No, it could be right. Daffodils, fuck them, dangerous. It'll eat your head off. Maybe I don't know. I'm not taking that risk, right? It's on the danger list. Everybody, fuck you. You're on the list. You can't come in. But I'm supposed to. I'm on the list to come in. Nope, you're not. Well, now you're not coming in. Fuck that. Just because you said nope, you're out. Right? It's like the soup Nazi for perceiving danger for everything. You out. Forget it. You're cut off. I can't. So that's kind of how that works. I kind of dragged that out too much. Helmet, what up, bro? What's going on? At one point, were you scared to eat because you might think it was gonna hurt your stomach? Or yeah, that was me constantly. Right? That's why I had to stay on my safe foods for a year and a half. With gut and sensitivity issues, take your time. Right? The methods that I use for my thoughts and other symptoms, you don't do that with foods right away. With foods, it takes time. It's a bit of a delay, right? So you got to first do the visuals, bring your baseline down, elevate, empty your allostatic loads until you come to a point where it's down enough, right? Let's say your allostatic loads are like down to here, right here. No, yeah, here's good, right? That's when you can start working on your foods. That took me a year and a half to get there. Baseline. Where's my baseline picture? So here, right? I was here. Then I waited to do the work. That's what I mean by doing the work, right? Doing the work from here down to here. It took me a year and a half. And you can tell, you can feel it, that your alarm system isn't so sensitive, that you're more, I'm a little scared, a little fucked up. I'm still getting alarms and a little fucked, But that's how you know where you're at in the baseline. There's no like meter that you tap into and go, the baseline says you're at 70. No, it's something that you know with how you feel, how the alarms are thrown at you, and that's how you measure, right? And then eventually you start training on the foods, and you're still gonna have flares. You're still gonna have the stinky, brutal farts, the little tiny fart that can destroy a whole fucking room. Yeah, I had those. Stabbing pains on my left side, top side, bottom, middle. Felt like I got punched in the stomach a bunch of times. Felt like I had bricks in my colon. Stabbing pains and just the cramping, the fucking. And you're like, oh fuck, please. And then you're trying to massage it because the cramping is so. It's like your colon is going. Right, like somebody's fucking taking vice grips and going. Right, and it lets off a little bit, and it's like no, right? You're like, right? You feel like that, and it stretches out for like 10 minutes. Oh, and then you let out a fart, and it fucking reeks. And then you get the stabbing pains, and then you get the what if thoughts about the symptoms that you're going through. Right, relentless. Yeah, well, that's that's why you got to work on your baseline for a year and a half. And then you get there, then you do the training with the foods. You still get the symptoms and the flares, but not at a 1,000, at a scale at 1,000. Now it's instead of like a 10 out of 10, it's now a 4. Like instead of having a food flare for 3 weeks with bloody diarrhea, now it's 4 days, 3 days, right? Where you're away from that food, and then your recovery time's quicker, right? And you're getting more confident. You're like, fuck, 3 days, whatever. I'm used to it. And then it comes to the point where you drag out the flares, where you don't have the safe days, right? Where you're okay to constantly feel like you do the 3 days that you have a flare. It's like a mini uncomfortable flare that you just drag out. So you have the stabbing pains, you have the brutal farts, you have the cramping, you know, you have the diarrhea and the constipation, but you still live life, right? While you're doing this, you're dragging it out. You don't do your safe. You're like, no, we're gonna drag you out. Where are you going? You come back here. Let's drag you out. But this is later on. Later on. Now you can't do that now, because if you do that now, it's like pouring gasoline, right, on the fire, and you're just asking for to re-traumatize your alarm system. You don't want to do that. We want to do it smart. So then you get to the stage exactly. You drag out the flares, and you keep living your routine, and then eventually, right, you start getting foods in more easier. So you get 20 foods in. Okay, then you get, and then 5 leave. You get, oh fuck, I'm back to 15. And then you get fucking 5 left. You're like, fuck, shit, because something happened that week. Maybe you're looping on a shoulder pain. You're like, my shoulder, right? And whatever happens on your body, it affects you here. Baseline goes up, and this is associated with your gut, right? Because they're linked, right? Because you got nerves in your gut, and it's linked. If you have a storm here, you're gonna have a storm down here, most likely. Especially if you're a person that has gut issues. That's why we have gut issues, right? And you got to be okay with that. You got to learn to be okay with that, and have the farts and have the pain while you're living life. And then eventually you get 20 foods in, 40 foods in, 50 foods in, back to 20, back to, it keeps going up and down, in and out, 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 until you don't care if it's in and out or not. Until you don't care, oh, that was out. Shit. Well, I don't care. Until you're eating foods that are out or in, or you're not caring because you're too busy engaging. Yeah, you're at a level of discomfort that's okay. And that's when all the foods come in eventually. And the gut issues go away. And then you'll have a setback once in a blue moon. And then you're fucking eating chili by the bucket full. Like I eat chili every day. And some of it's, I don't get the burning diarrhea that a normal person even gets. For me, my brain's like, that's fine. Yeah, whatever. Back in the day, if I ate a little slivel of avocado, it was like my body was overreacting and being dramatic. Right now, I'm eating the fucking fire, right? And it's like, oh no, I like that. So it's pretty good. It's spicy. It makes me feel high. It's a rush, right? Yeah, I think I went a little long on that one too. Oh well, I get fucking passionate about this shit. I love it. It's exciting. Okay, let me have a little sippy poo. Thanks for your help, Helmut. I've massively improved from long COVID. Amazing. Having hope was a massive part of the puzzle. Yeah. And allow yourself to feel uncomfortable, feel like shit. That's the thing with a lot of people. What they do is they take a tool or a method to get rid of what they're feeling. It's like, oh my God, I'm feeling some symptoms. Okay, I'll do some breath work. Or I'm going to do some somatic track. No, I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to do some tapping. I'm going to tap it away. I tapped and it worked. I started feeling better. After I tapped, it was okay. It was like the rest of my night was pretty good. It was good, right? And that's where the problem is. When you feel like shit, don't run to tapping to get it out of there. Feel like shit. Sit there, go, fuck it. No, hold. We're not tapping. We're not doing breath work. We're going to sit in this hell hole, right? And you're going to sit in the fear. Allow the ugliness to show up. Right, whatever it's shame. Me was 99% was mostly fear. Right, all the ugliness. If it's a symptom, feeling, whatever it is, sit in the ugliness of it. Allow it to have its space. We don't just want to give space to things that we like happiness. No, give space to the things that are disgusting, dirty, hurtful. Right, things that are hell on earth. Give them the space. Allow it to be there. Sit with it and go, I'm feeling you. I get you. I don't like you. But I'm allowing you. And then engage. And the engage part is huge. Because sometimes people allow too much. You got to have a point where you're like, and scene. Okay, now let's engage. And we'll bring you with me. We're not distracting when we engage. Because you're still allowed to be on my shoulder. But we're going to engage. That's enough. I allowed enough. We're going to go engage, right? That's really important. Because if you allow too long, then it starts to reignite it, right? And then all of a sudden you're slowly putting gasoline on it again. You're like, ugh. You're allowing the brain's gonna gain leverage and it's gonna cock block you and hijack you again. It's like, because that's what it's supposed to do, right? So you allow it, go do your thing. Okay, you like, okay, no, I don't like this, but you do your thing. The ugliness. I'm feeling. I'm listening to you. I'm listening to the alarm, acknowledging the alarm, because what's the point of an alarm? To be heard, to be acknowledged. So you're giving it that space. I hear you. I hear you. But I'm gonna go engage. Okay. Okay. Gone. Awesome. Did you try bilateral stimulation? No, I didn't. Sometimes I'd fuck around with like bilateral beats at night, but it's more like curiosity, just to try some shit. Okay, Tanya, you posted the other day an acronym for alarm. Yes, I did. ALARM. Yes, I did. What was it again? It's interesting. This acronym is supposed to be easy, and I'm still forgetting. So it's allow it to be there, let it do its thing, ask for more, run towards it without white knuckling, right? Don't white knuckle or survive through it, because then you're just reaffirming to the brain that yes, we are in danger. So you just reprogrammed it to be there, and you said yes, keep setting that alarm if you're surviving. We don't want it. We want to tell it, don't survive, don't send that alarm because I'm safe. So when you're running towards it, surrender and go, this is good. I'm leaning into it. This feels good. Oh, fuck. That dagger in my back feels so right. And the brain goes, okay, all right, we turn that alarm off. I see that, it's not dangerous, right? And then M stands for move on and engage in life, right? There's a time where now we got to move on, right? And engage. Awesome. All right, next question. Do you think it's okay to use it as a coping mechanism for now? I'm walking around listening to it like 4 times a day. Yeah, for anything that you need to do, when if you need to avoid certain things in the beginning, because it's only temporary. I know some of the TMS people are like, oh no, because no, you can't. No, you take away and resume activity as no in the beginning, because especially if you're dealing with 70 symptoms and you're overwhelmed, and the goal is to be able to do the steps, to do the work, to do the program consistently every day. For me, it was 3 years. So the goal is to get the person to stick to it no matter what for 2.5 years. Then in the beginning, you need to have the avoidance behaviors, like with me with food. And in the beginning, you need to have the coping mechanisms just so that you can do the work, right? Whatever it is that you do, use it. And eventually, when you've gained leverage and you brought the baseline down and emptied those allostatic loads a bit more, then you can start taking away some of your coping mechanisms and avoidance behaviors. And you can start challenging them or moving on, right? Yes. I was going to say something else. I totally forgot. Yeah. The acronym alarm. I can't remember what I just said it. What's going on? DNHL. Hey there. What's going on? Yes. See, you got it. Allow it. Let it. Yep. Let's post it for people to see. Oh yeah. Anybody in the Instagram world want to join me on YouTube? Please subscribe, and vice versa. All you guys on YouTube, please join me over on Instagram. I just started out December. I started out doing this in December, so I've been doing this for 8 months. Sharing my story, helping people. Before that, I was doing carpet cleaning. And I've been doing the work for 4 years, 4 and a bit, right? So, if you guys from Instagram want to join me on YouTube and vice versa, because there's some stuff that I share on Instagram that I don't on YouTube. And well, obviously I have most of my stuff on YouTube, so that might, people that are interested on Instagram, join me on the YouTuber. Oh wow, it's crazy because I'm just kind of Oh wow, it's crazy because I relapsed exactly 10 months after it was first got better, almost day to day, August 27th, to July, and now I feel overwhelmed by anxiety symptoms. Yeah. For me, I say you don't have to dig for trauma. Just work on recalibrating your nervous system. And if you ever want to dig, do it when you're in a better position to do it. Instead of fueling the fire and adding buckets of gasoline, we don't really have to dig for trauma because we're just dealing with now alarms because the brain's perceiving danger now, right? And all we want to do is tell the brain that we're safe now. And that's it. Whatever brought you here in the past, we don't have to dig anything. And if you do, you can later when you're at a better place to do it, right? We don't want to be fucking, you know, adding more fuel to the fire. Oh, thanks. Okay, how many I got? What? How many? Okay, so Dr. Dan Ratner says, crush doubt with science and logic. Yeah, that works. So, using evidence, that's what I always say, use evidence because the brain likes to look for evidence. Here, I'll just post that up. Write down each day, like an evidence list, every doubt and challenge it completely. It helps as Brian sees it as it can't keep fibbing to you. Right. Well, for me, it's not the content of the thought. Right. I noticed because the DNRS teaches people to do opposites with your thoughts. And at the end of the day, the thoughts are irrelevant. They mean nothing. They're just there to bait you and go here, because it has to be a thought that's special to you. That's going to get your attention. So there's a thought, and you're like, right, and it's going to grab you because it wants to grab you to the root of the emotion, which is fear, to the root alarm, to perceive danger, and that's what it's doing. It's doing its job. So the content of the thought really is irrelevant. Allow it to be there. You don't have to make an event or write anything down, because then you're engaged with it more. You're turning this into an event, and you're working with it, right? You're focusing on it too much. And when you do that, you're putting it on a pedestal, and you're never good. It's designed you're never going to win. You're never going to make a deal with it. You're never going to, right? It's because it's besides the point. It's just there to get your attention. So just allow it to do its thing. Agree with it, whatever it tells you. Go, yeah, that thing's going to burst. Well, that thing's going to, I'm going to die of this and that. Okay, yeah, I agree with you. Thank you for setting me that alarm. And I hope it, that thing that bursts, I hope it bursts every day for the next month. Okay, thank you. The brain goes, okay, well, I did my, okay, he's not resisting. He's not, because as soon as you start to engage in trying to convince it, you're going to be there for a long time, trying to convince it, do a opposite, right? Try to hit it with some truth or evidence, or look what I read. Actually, what you're telling me is not true, because what I read to counter that. So when you're starting to counter that, you're putting a lot of energy into it, which puts you in a survival state, which brings the baseline up, right? And it's a form of resistance. So when you do that, it sends more alarms, because you're saying to the brain, yeah, we're in danger. Look, we're in danger. Well, I'm trying to prove to you, right? But it's irrelevant. Just allow it to go. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Awesome. I'm gonna go engage. And eventually that allows everything to calm down. When you do it like that, see, you're manipulating energy. You're allowing. This is how you reset the alarm system. Eventually the brain starts turning off alarms, because it's like, oh, we're good. We're safe. Okay, and then here we go. We'll do this one here. I had to capture all thoughts and make the subject unto Christ and the truth that I will love and not die, and proclaim the goodness of the Lord. Amazing. I let no thought into my mind unless it was productive. Yeah. Well, you can surrendering to God helps, because you're not resisting, right? When you surrender, you're not resisting. And that's where faith can really help, right? When you just put it on, you go, God, take this from me, take the burden, blah, blah, and you just you surrender, right? And that's taking away the resistance. So that also works. 2 questions. Nathan, let's see what you got. Hold on. Hold on. Fuck, I got a lot of questions today. This is awesome. And I didn't even plan this. This is random. Thank you, Shibby's videos. Thank you too. Love it. Okay. So, did you talk about what you were going through with anyone? Yes. My mom, my wife, my daughter, and people in this community. So they knew what I was. My mom knew a little bit more because she was dealing with me going crazy. Because I didn't want to put my wife through it. Like she saw me go crazy a couple times here and there, but my mom saw it more often. And then eventually, I had to take the bull by the horns and do the work myself. And she was just kind of like, "Do you need it? Are you good? Good. You're doing your walks. Okay, good." She was kind of like, the referee way over there. And I knew she was always there, so that helped. But mostly it was me. I would say 90% was just me going through this and checking in on people that were in the mind body space because they understand what you're going through, right? You can tell them something, they know exactly what you're talking about. Instead of trying to tell somebody that doesn't understand this stuff, you got to tell the whole history, how it works, and then they go, well, that's not true. You should know. Check out this link. Now, you know what? Maybe you should go on Medicaid. Like, so it makes it harder and it's a lot more resistance and it's more difficult. So with people that in the mind body space, it's easier to talk to somebody, but don't drive them nuts by asking them 30 questions a day, every fucking day. Have a little bit of respect that way, but then it's like give and take. Ask them once in a while, then they don't mind answering your questions. Find that sweet spot, right? So family, yeah, but it was mostly me and other people in the mind body space. Yay, you're live. Salini sounds Italian. I could be right. I could be right. Oh, I've been live for an hour and 7 minutes. Shit, man, time's flying. Okay, and what did you tell yourself at the beginning of every morning to set yourself for courage, motivation to take on another day? Um, well, every morning I had a meeting with myself, and I knew that the mornings were going to be tough and hard, so I embraced them. This was like my target, right? I never did any of the work to get rid of it. I knew that the next morning I was going to be. It was just my routine. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna have impending doom thoughts, and I'm gonna allow it. That's my target. I'm gonna eat it like I'm hungry for it. That's my food, right? So I'm gonna consume it. I'm gonna embrace it. I'm gonna breathe it in like I need air. It's like plants need the carbon dioxide that the person needs the oxygen. It's like my plant that I need. I need you. I need to inhale you. I need to consume you, right? Instead of because that keeps it there. It was more like I need. There you are. Good. Right. That's how I changed my viewpoint about it because I knew these were all opportunities to update my alarm system, and I needed them every day. And that's the only way I was going to shift through them by embracing them and smiling like a crazy person when you wake up, right? And then putting music on, taking a shower, doing a daily dare. I listened to one of Dan Buglio's videos because he's not very triggering. He's pretty safe. And then I was off with my day, and I did have a meeting with myself in my car. I'd have a meeting. I do, a little bit of, do my visuals. I'd feel some feelings, do my visuals, and I would write stuff while I'm doing my visuals. Right, like doing some drawing some pictures to support what I'm feeling. Right, and then I get the downloads, and like this is all doing the visuals and the meeting with yourself is supposed to be a moment where you're keeping focused, and it's not supposed to be something that's, oh, here we go, fuck, I don't want to do that. No, it's supposed to be like, I can't wait to fucking go do my visuals. I'm gonna get some tea, I'm gonna sit down in a nice cozy spot near the forest. The snow is coming down, right? You're like, oh, this is beautiful, I love this, I love this journey, this is amazing. And then you enjoy every second of it, even though it's fucking hell, but you have a routine that you stick to, right? I just whistled. And you just allow the thoughts to be there. You do your visuals, and you keep doing it every day. You never stop, right? Um, so I had no other choice, right? This is the thing that I was going to do no matter what. And I made a deal with myself. I was going to do it for 2 years no matter what. Then I changed that deal, and um, I said, okay, 5 years. And then I said, no, this is after when I got to the 2 years, I said, no, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. This is going to be my lifestyle. Awesome. It taught me more than I ever could have learned without it. so much. I also died, and who I am now, it's light years ahead of who I was. Yeah, totally. You literally become a new person. Your old self does die. How do you ask for more when your IBS is painful like crazy for days? Well, first, make sure that you're sticking to your safe foods, right? Um, and in the beginning, don't ask for more right away because that might be too hard, overwhelming. Because in the beginning, we want to have it so that's somewhat reasonably not too overwhelming. So that's why I say keep coping mechanisms in, have avoidance behaviors in still, do the work, and have patience. Eventually, it's gonna shift. So until then, just allow it to be there, right? Allow the IBS to be there. If it takes a year and a half, 2 years, then it's gonna be routine, right? The Tuesday of allowing is not gonna be different than Friday allowing. You're gonna have the same pains, the same gas, the same stink, the same uh, cramping. It's not gonna be any different. So you're gonna get used to it. You're gonna become resilient, and it's gonna be like meh. If somebody else was in your body and they were to sit in your body, like, oh shit, man, why aren't you crying right now? Why aren't you complaining about the stabbing pain on the left right here? Why aren't you crying because why aren't you freaking out because of the colon feels like it's fucking gonna burst? Why aren't you fucking because you become used to it? Because you kept allowing and you kept sticking to your routine and you built leverage where you normalized it, right? These symptoms, you normalize it over time. And because of that, it will shift as a consequence because it's forced to turn off the alarm because it knows it's not in danger. All right. Does your brother experience TMS anxiety also? Yep. My brother has ulcerative colitis. Uh, I had ulcerative colitis, and my brother still has it, and he has a bunch of mind body symptoms, but he's not convinced about the mind body world. And I think it's because fear keeps him, the Western medicine fear keeps him there, right? And he's not, somewhat, I should say, not total fear, just because he's not scared enough to change. He's like, no, I'm good where I am. I'm able to live life. I'm on the medications. What do I need to change? Yeah, I'm lazy. That's what he says. I'm too lazy. I don't really want to. I'm good where I am. And I was like that too. And the only way I could fully change was to fall really hard where I had no choice but to do the work. And that fear, I needed that relentless, the fear had to be at 1,000, not at 50 or 20. No, it had to be at 1,000 to keep me on track. I needed to have the constant fear to keep me on this path. That's why fear can be a beautiful thing. Fear could be the tool that causes you to recover. I think that's the biggest thing that's necessary. You gotta be fucking scared shitless to recover. Without it, then it won't you'll get lazy. You won't do the work. You'll be like, and then you'll be a robot. And nobody's, during this journey, everybody's scared. That's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be scared because the brain's sending you alarms. Yes, the only way out is to go through it, right? The only way to open that door, to walk through it, is to open that door and to feel what's behind that door. And you're going to feel the old program. So in order to run the new program, you still have to feel the old program. And the old program we don't like. Well, of course you don't like it. You're going to feel like shit, but you have to. You need to feel like shit in order to change the association. You need to stand in that spot and change it by the way you act. What is the thing that I say is you send messages of safety and how you sit in the danger, right? Okie dokie. The spiritual thing is so true. We don't cure illness. We learn to master thoughts, the ego. Yeah. And then your brain and your body knows what to do, right? It's such a crazy journey, but it's like, it's training it starts physically, but it spans out to spiritually, and it goes to other realms of your reality. It's amazing. First 2 weeks I got a kitten. I was sweating balls, eyes bloodshot red, sneezing, coughing. It was bad. Oh yeah. After that, I've been allergy free for years now. It's been like a kitten fixed me. Well, yeah, exposure, right? When you expose yourself to something and you change your responses, and you love a kitten, you pet the kitten, you love it, right? You're sending a different response, and it changes the association. Ah, did you ever get weird throat symptoms like closing up, restriction? Yeah, I had labored breathe. I couldn't. I had problems breathing. My chest was tight and my throat. Certain food that I ate, it felt like I felt high and I felt like I was having problems breathing. But it was not to the point where, well, maybe it was. I just lucked out that I needed to be, needed to get a fucking EpiPen. But no, I had problems breathing. It felt like there was a elephant on my chest. Um, but I'd go check and they would, they'd be like, your oxygen's at 98. You're good. This is not an emergency. I know, sir. Well, maybe we should x-ray your chest. Maybe you got a cold. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to go home. Fuck it. They're not going to help me. I'm like, x-ray? Like, fuck, there's nothing wrong in there. I don't have a cold. Come on. Anyway. Hey, Nick, what's going on? Yep. Let's see how many more questions I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shit, man. I got like 10 more. Okay. What time is it? Okay, I'll try to hit these up real quick. Let's see. Oh shit, I got another 15 over here. No, whoa, shit, I like it. I think it's great. Hi, Helmet. What's going on, Rita? What's up, Steve? What's up, guys? Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna hit up a question on Instagram. Derek, here we go. Awesome to catch you live. Did you ever have any weird throat? Oh, yeah, you just asked me that over here. Nice. Yep. Yes, I did. And I also had other throat symptoms where I thought I was getting a weird throat infection, but that also passed. Can you ever talk about your fatigue experience? It's hard to deal with. And when did you get some energy? Uh, you know what? I should do another. I have a video on my YouTube about chronic fatigue. But you know what? I'm gonna write that down. Actually, I've been wanting to talk about chronic fatigue syndrome. So I'm gonna write it down. My fatigue and chronic fatigue syndrome. And what was your question? It's hard to deal with. When did I get energy? And then the other topics that I have listed. So I'll make a video about it. So make sure to check out my YouTube and subscribe. And I'll do a video. But I got like a handful of videos I gotta do. I gotta get on this shit. But thanks for the question. I'm really there. I'm doing everything I want to do, but the spasms are just still occurring. Allow them to be there, and don't put them on a pedestal. Let them do their thing. And if for me, I had pelvic floor pains, stabbing pains, and I did have to do some stretches just to get some relief so that I could do the work. So it's a coping mechanism, but that's just temporary, just so you can do the work. And eventually, you start to expose yourself to the pains. You allow them to be there. You engage in life. You stick to your routine, and eventually, over time, it goes right. Awesome. Okay, butterflies, dangerous. Good music, dangerous. Yeah, exactly. You're one of the few people who talk about the anxiety OCD loops. Yeah, there's not. You know what? There's not too many people that talk about it, and I think it's a big part of it. I think the OCD is like the big uh, key element that if you work on that, everything else just follows suit. The body just follows. If you get the dashboard in here, if you get comfortable with your cockpit in here, you know what you're doing, what you're supposed to handle in there, then everything just follows suit. So thank you for that question. Also curious if you ever slept during all this. Yeah, I didn't work. I couldn't work. I was too sensitive. I couldn't do shit. I was bedridden. I had a safe room. Uh, I went through periods of insomnia, which was scary. But I also have videos about that too. You know, I should do an insomnia video. Okay, I'll do another insomnia. But yeah, came and went to the first year, but then eventually I was able to sleep, no problem. So I worked through it quicker. It was one of 70 symptoms that I had, and I didn't put it on the pedestal too much, right? Because I was so overwhelmed with so many symptoms that actually that helped me because I didn't put too much attention to all of them because I couldn't. So they kind of were tucked into my daily routine. Yep, I literally ate 5 foods. Only now I eat anything. Oh, amazing. Awesome. I know where I'm getting stuck. One symptom, so weird, so random and strange that nobody else has, and it's pretty much 24/7. When it rises, it drags me inwards and into doubt. It's my block. Allow it to do its thing. Whatever it is, allow it to do its thing, and that's your target. That's your new target. Go towards it, allow it to do its thing, and build the leverage of indifference. Invite it to be there. Give it a spot in the table, and have some tea with it. Become friends with it. The weirder symptom is the more it's TMS. Yeah, that's true. Yes, I have heard that it's tripping me up. Do you have POTS? Is that why you? I didn't have full blown POTS. It was like hints of it, but I was able to regulate that luckily. But it wasn't full blown. I didn't. I was working with people that had it full blown, where they were in a wheelchair and they had to be at a certain angle. They couldn't stand up or whatever. But for me, it wasn't too bad. Just like EMF, I had EMF sensitivity that came and went, but I was able to regulate that quick. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to hit some of these up again. On YouTube, what do you do if the pain leads to an automatic anxiety response? Okay, so flash fears that you can't control. In the beginning, I had flash fears to a symptom. It was my gut shit, right? When I had a pain in my gut, right away, my alarms went off and I was in a freak mode. That's going to happen. So you allow the flash fears to be. So in this case, when you can't do something before the fear comes, allow the fear to come, allow it to do its thing. It's what we do after it. The flash fear is how you reprogram it. So after it came, allow it to be there. Celebrate that you know what's going on. You're aware of the flash fear. That was a flash fear, and I see what's happening, and I feel really uncomfortable, and I have no control. The amygdala's totally fucking in the driver's seat, and I'm in the back seat, and it's fucking driving like fuck this, no fuck, right? It's in control, and I see that. So that's the first step: is being aware of what's happening, and you're allowing it to be there. And the response, celebrate afterwards. Go, I caught it. This is great, right? So then it's sending a message of safety after the danger happened, right? But it's still a message of safety, and it still associates. And eventually, you're going to build leverage when you keep doing that. And also, you're doing visuals, you're doing your elevating, you're doing all the pillars, right? Eventually, you're going to build the leverage where you do have a choice, right? Where it's facing you, go, you know what? I can see it coming. Here we go. All right, allow it to be there. Let it do its thing. We're going to go engage, right? So flash fear, it can be relentless in the beginning where you don't have a choice because the brain thinks, no. I can't rely on this fucking guy to call the shots because then that's dangerous. He's not efficient enough to do that. I have to take over. This is great, right? The brain is so amazing that it takes over to keep you safe from danger, right? It's doing its job so well that it gets you out of the way. Get the fuck out of here. I'm driving. Fuck this shit. I gotta keep you alive, man. Your years just 30 years of bullshit. You get the fuck, go to the back seat. Man, there's so many close calls. No, I can't take these risks. So that's how that works. Oh God, I hate the opposites. Yeah, it's a lot of wasted time. And that's for me with my program. I take a lot of the fluff out, right, and I just stick to the meat and potatoes. Helmet, thank you, thank you, thank you. From Germany. Ah, love it. My homeland. You are by far the best. 8 months now, hard times, but I keep doing the work. Right, you're right at that 8 month mark. It might happen eighth or 10th mark where it's gonna skyrocket. But keep going. You're doing the work, and the more it skyrockets, the more that you're doing the work, and the more you're getting close to recovery. Trust me. Right, but just make sure this goes for everybody. Make sure you do the work, you stick to it, and don't give up. Keep going. Even when you feel good, that's another thing. People start feeling good, they stop. Keep going, man. Keep going. Okay. Okay. Don't forget to hit the like button to help. Oh, thank you. Hey, computer fast repair. Hey, what do you think about doctors, bro? Um, well, I'll only go to the hospital or go to a doctor if I have an emergency situation. Right. Other than that, I'd rather just, from my experience, what I went through, um, I can recalibrate myself. I don't need their pills or their protocols or their also with naturopaths and also with all these Facebook groups. I can't. It's good that I went through it. I can't believe I fucking did it, but I needed to go through the dark side to get the contrast, so I know what the light side is. So sometimes this is all experience. This is failing is making the mistakes, going the wrong way. You need to find out what the right way is to get that contrast, to learn what the light is. So that's the same thing with doctors. Certain things I'll go to a doctor, and certain things that I'd rather handle myself. That's just but I always say to people, if you go to a doctor, they're a professional, always listen to them. I'm just sharing my experience. That's it. Right, I'm not qualified. So that covers my ass, and that covers everybody else's ass. Right. JC, how are things for you now after 8 months? That's a good question. Probably shittier, probably worse. Helmut, do you think that post drug, blah 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 blah, post SSRI, post I'm gonna say, I'm gonna assume the benzo stuff or TMS. I know people that are fully recovered from being so-called injured, right? I don't think you're injured. I just think that the brain perceiving danger, and we're getting a lot of fucked up symptoms. So you can fully recover because I've seen people recover. I just, what I'm looking for, a success story. So if anybody knows anybody that recovered fully from the benzos or medications and stuff like that, even like um, we'll just keep it there, right? If anybody knows anybody, send them my way. I'd love to do an interview. Okay, how many more questions? I got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'll do 3 more, and then whoever I didn't get, please come back and ask the question again. Let's see. I'm listening to other people's visualization. Go rounds just as powerful as. Yeah, you know what? If for visualization, there's a lot of things you can do. You can do your walk and talks. You can do commentaries. You can talk to your future self, right? You can talk to your higher self. You can make them up. The traditional way is to go back in time and dig up some of the nice memories and talk about the future, what you're going to do. But if you can't remember anything good, you can make them up. You can go to Nemo's Dreamscapes and listen to music from the 1930s and get the juices flowing and pretend like you're revisiting a past life, and then have fun with it. So there's a lot of different things you can do. You can do walk and talks. You can talk to your higher self, your future self. You can talk about changing a tire, right? That's sending a message of safety. So doing that alone is a start, so that you can bring the baseline down enough so that you can do the visuals easier and be in a flow. Right in the beginning, your gate is closed. It's really hard to get into a flow of visuals because the brain's going to constantly cock block you and hijack your thoughts because it wants to get your attention to perceive danger. Right, so it's going to do its work, and it's supposed to. That's doing its job. So it takes time to get to the point where you can flow with your visualization. So I would say if you need to, even just do 15 minutes and fail for 15 minutes, and take that time that you would normally use for normally and put that into elevating for an hour and 45 minutes instead of just an hour, because that also brings your baseline down, and eventually you'll get more into a flow, right? So okay. uh Agree on the pot. Okay. Oh, you guys are having discussions with yourself. That's amazing. Okay. So okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. It's been an hour and a half. Thanks everybody for joining. Hello, helmet. I'm getting better. But my brain seems scared to heal. Allow it to feel scared. You want to be scared. That's good. Get triggered. Allow yourself to be triggered. Do you have the same thing? Oh yeah. I had all kinds of thoughts, and it threw everything at me. It was a constant nightmare, and I allowed it to be there. And also the nothingness feeling. I had times where I felt nothing. I wouldn't be excited about anything. All the things that I love to do, I just didn't. I had days where I did not get excited about them anymore. I didn't feel happiness. I didn't feel any emotion at all, not even fear. The nothingness was really scary. And I was scared that it was going to be, I was going to be stuck, right? So eventually I learned just to allow it to be there, let it do its thing. And nothingness would come and go, come and go. So you're going to deal with all kinds of um, weird emotions and things that it's getting your attention. It's doing its job. Exactly. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Thanks, Helmut. Keep going, guys. Yes. I'm also working on something with it's a kind of an we're just starting it out. We're trying to do a channel for visualizations to help people out. So then people can just watch visuals that we create. So eventually I'd like to get that out there too. You're so amazing, Helmut. Thank you so much. Your videos are for real help for me daily. Oh, it's amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It really keeps me motivated to stick to this, and it gives me, a sense of purpose. I love it. Yeah. Thanks, Helmut, for this safe place community. We can do this. Thank you for that. For me, that's a synchronicity that you said safe place community, because I want to build a community. So my plan is to get a community going so that we can all the mind, body, space people can come together, so that you don't have to search around and jump around on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and you just go to one spot and share and help each other grow and help each other recover. And mind, body, and spirit. That's the goal. Okay. I think that's it. I will see everybody. Oh, thank you. I will see. I'm having an interview on Thursday. Fuck, I didn't bring my calendar. I have an interview on Thursday. I'll see everybody live next week, Sunday. So yeah, I'll see everybody there. Sounds good. Hopefully, you know what? I'll make a post at what time. Oh, by the way, everybody like my Instagram? I got a bit of a branding change. I'm excited about it. Whitney did that. She's amazing. She's really good at what she does. Check it out. And okay, I'm gonna get off. All right, I'll get off here first.